going on, everybody?
Hey, so earlier this week, Elway said that expectations were tempered a little bit with this offense, given the, the unique offseason and the fact that, you weren't able to go through a normal offseason that's important for a young quarterback. So I'm wondering if your expectations are tempered, and secondly, how do you think you handled this offseason given the pandemic, the new system, the new coordinator, and all these other factors?
Yeah, I mean, not being able to be with the guys as much as you normally would is not going to change, how I feel going into the season. I still want to do the things, pre-COVID that I thought we could do this year. I still want to do those things, even that COVID hit the country and hit us and allowed us not to be with each other. But there also is a realist, the real factor of it is that, yes, we didn't get enough time with each other. We're going to have a shortened period of time where we're going to have to pick up a lot of things extremely quick. And, it might not be the prettiest at first, but our job is to, make the mistake, learn from it, and try not to make that mistake more than once, because we really don't have time to keep making the same mistakes. And so to answer your question, I'm still expecting the same thing from us this year, because we're going to put in the extra work to be able to make up for that time lost.
Next, we got Ryan O'Halloran with the Denver Post, followed by Mike Kliss. Ryan, go ahead, please.
Hey, Drew, sort of a follow-up on that with Drew and Jerry and KJ specifically. How do you go about creating a chemistry with them off the field and also in the classroom?
Yeah, I mean, it's different because we go into the cafeteria and you can only have a certain amount of people in there. And if, let's say I'm doing this Zoom call and then I'm going to go shower, the cafeteria is full because we're taking the correct precautions around here. I technically can't sit by Jerry. I couldn't sit by KJ. And then even when we go to the classrooms, there's a certain amount of people that are allowed in there. So really, it's going to come from us being on the field, being able to build a relationship out there, more relationship out there, show them that, I'm here, I'm ready, I'm prepared, and they're going to show me the same thing so we can earn each other's respect. And then after the respect is earned, that's when the friendship comes. That's when we can really start to talk and get to know each other. The easiest conversations have been standing outside, 6 feet apart, giving Jerry some crap about the Missouri-Alabama game and talking to all the guys about some college stuff because, they just left from there, and it's pretty easy to relate since I'm only a year and a half, almost 2 years out of it. So
next we got Mike Kliss, 9 News, followed by Mark Kisla. Mike, go ahead, please.
Yeah, Drew, there's just the notion that you guys are a little more at a disadvantage than by not having the OTAs in preseason because you're so young on offense. You with the 5 games, you got a lot of rookies that you're trying to break in versus a team like the Chiefs, who have been in the same system with Andy Reid and have been doing it for a while. Would you say you're at a little bit of a disadvantage because of no OTAs and preseason?
I think everyone gets 24 hours in a day. We're all allowed the same amount of time in our facility. We all have professional coaches that have been in this game for a long time, and we all get to learn and be with them for the same amount of time. It's an even playing ground. It's just going to be what we do at the time that we get together. And yes, we are young. But, you're young, you're pretty hungry right as you get in here. So maybe we could be at an advantage with being young and, having a lot of motivation, whereas, guys have been in it for a long time. I know they're still hungry because, they want to be super good, but, maybe they'll take a little off. And, we know stick. Like, I'm not going to write my notes on a stick. We're writing notes on everything right now. We're making sure that we're really clear and precise with everything because we are new offense to where we're going to pick up the minor details. Whereas, if we're 5 years into it, we'll fix that when it comes, kind of deal.
Next, we got Mark Kisla, Denver Post, followed by James Palmer. Mark, go ahead, please.
Couple things. First, as a young quarterback in this league, what do you think of your man Patrick Mahomes getting a $500 million contract? That's some serious money. And also, the second part of that is top 100 list. It was Mahomes, Wilson, and Lamar Jackson at the top. Of those three, which is your favorite quarterback, or which is the one you admire the most? I want to get your
you look at those 3 guys, and if I'm playing like those 3 guys, I'm going to be pretty happy with myself. I'm going to be winning football games, which is what those guys have done. And, if you look at what Mahomes did, it's a blank check, really. You win a Super Bowl, you win an MVP, you keep doing the things like that. I'm going to pay you as much money as I can to help you come back and keep doing that with us. And, that's our job to potentially stop and hopefully upset those guys for paying them that much money. But no, it sets a really high bar for quarterbacks. It sets a really high bar money-wise and playing-wise. So all for that amount of money being paid to him.
Next up, James Palmer, NFL Network, followed by Jeff Legwell. James, go ahead.
Hey, Drew, hope you're good, man. Question just about this training camp that's just getting going compared to last year. They're both new systems, but I know Pat's done his best to try to blend it a little bit. Does it feel that way, that it's not brand new because of his efforts in that sense? Could you describe that a little bit?
Yes, I would say it feels right at home for sure. I think this is where COVID kind of comes into play, where yes, we could have gotten right into running it on the field, but if you're more of a guy that likes to see it, likes to draw it up on a board, likes to hear from the coach multiple times before you go out and run it, that's exactly what we got. We got a lot of time to sit together as a quarterback room and even by yourself at home, and allows you an opportunity to go over the plays multiple times a day, to where when you go out there, you're running certain install, whatever. You've heard this play, you've seen this play. You know everything that's going on because you've been able to sit there for however many months and go over it to be prepared for when you finally got to be out on the field, which was now for us.
Next up, Jeff Legwell at ESPN, followed by Troy Rank. Jeff, go ahead, please.
Drew, I'm just curious if you and the other players have sort of talked about how you're going to have to live your lives away from the facility this year, and kind of what do you think your role is in that, to sort of lead in that way as well?
Yeah, 100%. You got to be all out, dedicated to this season. It's going to take a little bit more than you being here from 6 to 7 every day. It's going to take you thinking about it 24 hours a day. You got to be safe as much as you can. I know I'm lucky because all I have is a girlfriend right now. I don't have little kids or a wife at home, to where that's going to be kind of hard to keep track of, but it's going to have to be a family thing. It's going to have to be everyone that's involved with this organization has to realize from this amount of time to the end of that time, it's fully dedicated to football, and you're going to have to live a little different. I know in college, you're used to winning on Saturday and going out with the boys and hitting the town. Can't do that now. I mean, you wouldn't necessarily do that anyways once you get to the NFL, but you especially can't do that now. It's just, you have to be smart. You have to be smart. It is what it is.
Next, we got Troy Rank, followed by Eric Dalala. Troy, go ahead, please.
Drew, good to see you, my man.
Hey.
How much does it help that you can't give yourself a nickname? Like your leadership, guys are gravitating towards you. How do you feel? Do you feel different year 2 walking in there, that guys kind of respect what you did on and off the field? And secondly, what is it about football that makes you guys feel like you can pull this off and be safe?
To answer your first question, what I learned when I got here is that once you gain the respect of the older guys and the head of the organization here, that should be your first ultimate goal, is to gain the respect of the guys around you. So for me to be able to feel like what I did last year and the comments from everyone this off season, and just being able to walk in the locker room and feel like I have the respect of everybody, that was 100% the one goal that I set for that first year, is just gain the respect of this team. And now that I have that, there's no worries about personalities, making relationships, because we all know who I am. I know everybody on this team. I know how they act. I know who they are as a person, where now it's just time. It's time for ball, to where if I need to jump someone, I'm not the rookie anymore yelling at a third, fourth year guy. It's all right. That's Drew yelling at us. That's Drew getting on us. There's a whole different mentality behind having a second year quarterback rather than a rookie quarterback. And I honestly really feel that coming into this second year. And to answer question 2 about why football can work, and I think just how dedicated you have to be extremely good at football and to get to this point. The amount of work that's taken for you to get here, I feel like for you to be able to play the season, go through the off season, all the work you put in, everyone has the same mindset. We want to play football. So therefore, we're going to have to take care of everything off the field. We're going to have to stay safe. We're going to have to stay smart. No one wants to throw away these extra 2-3 months that we put into the off season of throwing, of lifting, of running. We need to all be safe. We need to all be smart. And I know that, this team personally, I feel like we're going to be able to get that done.
Guys, we got time for a few more. We'll have Eric Dalala, then Andrew Mason. Eric, go ahead, please.
Hey, Drew. First off, you touched on this a little bit, but what has it been like with the daily testing and some of the other protocols? And then second off, they added Judy, added Hamler, Melvin Gordon. How much do you feel like it's up to you now to kind of live up to some of the expectations? And what sort of pressure do you feel there?
Yeah. All right. To answer one, this facility is extremely different from what it was last year. I mean, you don't even get to come in the building, like I said, until you get COVID tested. Everything's spread out in the COVID testing. We have the traces where it'll start beeping if you're within 6 feet of someone, just to limit the certain amount of time you're around someone. As far as sanitary goes, you can't turn a corner without a hand sanitizer being there. They spray everything down once you leave the room. They smoke it out when everyone leaves. I mean, this facility and Greek and everyone, the head of the department here is on their A game, without a doubt. You honestly it's gotten to the point where even though there's so many people in this building, you honestly feel safer knowing that you're in this building. There's so many precautions, so many, things to keep us safe, rather than going out and, going to like a King Supers where you don't know who's around you, you don't know what they've been doing. You feel like everyone's fully into this, everyone's all in, and our number one goal is keep everyone safe and healthy. And I really feel like the Broncos and this organization is doing a great job of that.
Last two, Andrew Mason and Brandon Cristal. Andrew, go ahead, please.
Hey, Drew, obviously this pandemic, this environment, it's changed everybody, changed perspectives. How do you feel everything in the last few months has changed you as a person and as a football player?
Yeah, as a person, I, coming from a family that has, the restaurant business, got, greatly affected by that. And, that hurt my heart. That hurt, my family. It hurt my dad to see. And even with people losing loved ones, it's a really humbling situation, without a doubt. And I'm just extremely appreciative of everyone that's put the work in to be able to make my job still happen, where I can still have, what I love go on. My dad loved going into the restaurant business and going into all his restaurants and seeing all his people, and that got shut down to where he wasn't able to do that. He wasn't able to do what he loved the most. And everyone's work, all the time and effort that's been put into allowing me to be here, to be able to throw a football on a field, it just really makes me appreciate this game more. Because there's the thought we might not play. There's a lot of unanswered questions, and now that we're here, it feels amazing, and I know everyone else around me feels the same thing.
Last one, Brandon Cristal, KOA. Brandon, go ahead.
Drew, I kind of have two for you. This one's actually, I guess, from Alfred Williams, because he asked me yesterday, and I didn't know the answer. Is Albert O going to crash with you or live with you after camp breaks? Al wanted to know that. And then secondly, going into year two, kind of Troy's question, is this going to be more of who you are, that you had to throttle back your personality a little bit? Not that you minded it, but with Joe there last year, and now you can just be Drew all the time and really be yourself?
To answer your first question, I'll hook up the fellow Missouri kids. My apartment I was still on my lease until the beginning of August. And of course, like, Albert, get your butt out here so we can start throwing. You can stay at my apartment. I just got the house. And so he has been staying in my apartment. He's not living with me, but he's been in my old apartment that I moved out of. And I think he's probably going to renew that lease. I would have to say it, knowing Albert. But to answer your second question, I definitely feel like I had to hold myself back a little bit at the beginning of the season. Just like I've said before, to feel everyone out, feel the situation out, even feel Joe out a little bit. Slowly but surely, I got to come into myself and really show everyone I was around who I was, and especially when I finally became the guy and got to start playing. And I think we all have seen my personality come out once I started playing.